A couple of weeks ago, I had this amazing audition. I really wanted it. The production was like 7-minute bus drive away from me. We had a good connection, me and the casting director and the producer who was in the room as well. Everything was awesome. I loved the text. I loved the character. I prepared. I knew what I was doing. Really, really, really good. And then I got the email about 2 or 3 days later, and it said, "We really loved your performance, but no." How do we deal with rejection like this? Welcome to the acting edit.
And action! All right. It's a wrap.
If you really want to be an actor, then you have to learn how to deal with rejection. It's just part of it. And I don't know if it's right or not, but I read somewhere that Mark Ruffalo had about 800 auditions before he was actually cast in something. 800 no's. The average is more about 20 no's to a yes, and that's the average. So you can imagine, there's a lot of no until you get a definite yes. Plus, in the human nature, the fear of rejection is engraved in our DNA. Before, in like the primordial times, humans used to gather in groups of 75 to 150, and it was really key for survival that these people in your clan accepted you. You didn't want to be rejected, or otherwise you would die. So yeah, it's not as bad as that when you're rejected from an audition, of course, but it's still part of you to not want to be rejected. You, as a human, work with acceptance. You work in society with acceptance. You just crave to be accepted. So it's normal to want to be accepted, and if you are not, if you are indeed rejected from the audition, you need to understand that you have to deal with those feelings. It is your job as an actor to prepare for the audition. And let's face it, no one really likes auditioning. The process is bad for everyone involved. The people that are auditioning have to sit there for hours on end, watching people after people after people come through the doors, and most of them being brilliant, and they have to know that they have to decide on someone by the end of the day. And for you going to the audition, sometimes you haven't had a job in months or years, who knows, and you just really want it. But you have to play it cool, like in high school when your crush is walking and you just go like, "Hey," instead of, "Oh my God." So basically, you are there to try and solve the panel's problem. They need to find someone desperately to play that role, and you want to be that person that gets there and solves their problem. But most of the times, they don't choose you because of simple things. Maybe they have cast the person that is going to act opposite of you, and you are too short, too tall, too old, too young. The description maybe asks for red-haired and you are blonde. They don't really want to like pay for you to dye your hair. But anyway, when you walk into the room, you want to be their savior. You just want to be the person that they're looking for. And they want that as well. Believe me, when you're on the opposite side of the room, you really want the person in front of you to succeed. So all you have to do as an actor is prepare as much as you can. Study the role, know your lines, just be that person. And to be honest, sometimes it's your only chance to play that character, so go for it, enjoy it. For this audition that I wanted, and that I ended up not getting, one of the characters that I had in the audition for was actually written for a man. All of the characters were going to be played by women. It was a women's only production, but the original text was written for men and female, mainly man actually, because it was a Greek thing. So it was my chance to be that male character that I probably will never get. Who knows? Maybe I'll just have to put it up myself. So sometimes it is your only chance to play that role, and you need to enjoy it, and I certainly did. So yeah, 98% of the times it's not you. Unless you are, sorry the term, a douchebag in the room, or you're a diva, or you treat someone badly. Granted, if you have a lot of auditions that you don't get even a call back from or a penciled from, then maybe you need to figure out your audition technique. There are plenty of workshops for that, so just book some and learn from it. See what you're doing wrong, see what you're doing right, and evolve. Actors have to be evolving, right? But to be honest, the quality of your being is rarely what keeps you away from the audition. Usually it's physical traits. I read this article on Backstage, if I'm not wrong, but I will link it below. And one of the things that John Essay and his partner come to think of when it comes to auditions is you have to think like you're preparing an omelette or some eggs or just one egg for you to eat. And that is the audition. And when you do open the card to take an egg, what is your process for selecting such egg? Maybe it's the one that is closest to you. Maybe it's the one that it's bigger. Maybe it's the one that it's smaller. Maybe it's the one that has a different color and just catches your eye. It really makes no sense. And does that mean that you rejected all of the other eggs in the card, or that you just simply chose that one? And also, all of the other eggs in the card, chances are you're actually gonna eat them after. So they will be selected. They will not be rejected forever, right? And I thought that was just an amazing thing to say and an amazing way to look at things. Because yeah, most auditions that you are not chosen for, it's not really your fault. Now, when you go to an audition, you have to be on that mindset. You need to forget about everything else. Don't even scroll through social media before walking into the room. Just be prepared and be in the mind zone of that character, of that audition. But when you leave the room, for your own well-being mentally, just forget about it. Just put it behind your back. You've done it. Don't dwell on what you did, on what you didn't do. Just give yourself a moment to enjoy life after that. Make a coffee appointment with someone, or go to the gym, or go to a park and enjoy the sun if you're lucky enough it's sunny that day. Just do something to take your mind off of that. Don't even go through your lines again. It's done. It's ended. And consider the audition as your work as well, because as actors, 90% of our time is going to be going to auditions and not actually performing, which is really weird. No other profession has this kind of unbalanced thing. People don't go to interviews on end before they become, I don't know, lawyers. So the audition is your work. It's just not paid. But let's face it, any other normal job, they work for like what, a month before they're getting paid? It's normal. And this is not advocating unpaid work. That's a whole other video. That's a whole other discussion. What I'm talking about is audition being your work, being your job as well. So you need to prepare for that, and you need to, as much as possible, enjoy it. When you're actually performing, when you're acting, when you're doing the thing that you love and that you're good at, you will be tons of different people. You will be characters you never thought you would be. You will even be cats and dogs and mystical beings that don't really exist. But in the end, to be balanced and healthy mentally, you need to be able to deal with rejection. And you can only do that if you have a strong sense of self, if you know who you are in your core, and if you learn from your mistakes. So pretty much believe in yourself and learn from your rejections. And how do you learn from your rejections, you may ask? When you do get a rejection, you need to analyze how your audition actually went. Just write down the things that you did right. So maybe you knew all of your text, maybe you really connected with the person, but you also need to write what went wrong with the audition so that you're aware of it. Maybe you fluffed a line, even though you really knew the monologue right, but you fluffed it. Like I did. Maybe you were a bit nervous. Maybe it was just a bad day for you. But whatever it is, be honest. Be honest with the good and be honest with the bad. And that way you can combine them and you can learn from it. If you fluffed your lines, then maybe you need to practice your monologues before a little bit more. If you were in a bad mood, you need to learn how to free your mind before you walk into the room so that you are your best self and present your best self to them. But don't dwell on those things. It's literally just so that you can pinpoint whatever went wrong and that you can learn from it. Plus, when you do get a rejection, give yourself time to cope with it. Other people, normal people, will not really understand why you're so down that day, and maybe you didn't really want that job, but you got rejected, so give yourself some time to deal with it. Maybe have a hot chocolate, maybe just stick around under the covers and watch a really cool Netflix show that you want to see it and binge on it. Just do something that will make you feel comfortable. Wear comfy clothes, have some tea, and know that your yes is coming very, very soon. So, what was your latest story about rejection? You can share it. You can share it on Twitter, you can share it on Instagram, you can share it here on the comments under the video. Everything is at The Acting Edit. And subscribe! If you hit the bell button as well, you will be notified when there's a new video. And that's the best, right? Let me know your stories of rejection. Share! Let's make this not only my acting edit, but The Acting Edit! Say bye-bye, Bing Bong. Bye-bye. I'm sinking. I feel like I'm sinking. Pardon? Oh God, ow. I feel like I'm sinking and it's not good. Was everything good? I have a thing in the door saying please be mindful, and I swear to God, it's like the day that my neighbors are being like, okay, good. Let's try this. Oh my God! Are you taking a shower now? What's happening? Just stop using hot water. Oh my God! Okay, I'm gonna stop this.